It took me a while to figure it out, but after doing Airbnb for over 1 year, I can finally say that I know how to attract long-term guests. What's up guys, Jeffrey here. As a self-proclaimed lazy person, I'm always looking to make the most amount of money with the least amount of time. And the easiest way to make money on Airbnb is with long-term guests because you only have to clean once at the beginning of their stay. If you're consistently turning over new guests, it can be time consuming. And if you can just clean once and make about the same amount of money, then it's just a much more efficient use of your time. I know that you can always go out and hire people to clean your place, but I think if you have time to do so, you should just clean yourself, but that's a whole separate discussion. Anyway, for long-term guests using Airbnb, the rate that you get might be slightly lower compared to having multiple short-term guests, but the rate that you get will always be higher than what you would get in the standard rental market. Depending on where you live, this can be double or even triple the amount that you would get in the standard rental market. Using us as an example, we currently just have the one listing. We list our back house in the city of Sierra Madre. And if we were to rent out the back house on the regular rental market, we would probably get around $1,100 per month for our back house. And we just recently booked our back house for 3 months on Airbnb, and we will be getting $2,200 per month. So about double what we would get on the regular rental market. Booking this long-term guest was partially due to good luck, but a lot of thought and effort went into attracting long-term guests. So in this video, we're going to talk about what I think is needed to attract long-term guests. We're going to talk about the essential amenities. We're going to talk about which setting to use, and we're going to talk about how to organize your calendar to essentially game the system. So let's get right into it, starting off with the amenities. It seems a bit obvious, but we're gonna just start off with the easy stuff. So your long-term guests will need to be able to cook a meal and wash their clothes. So the bare minimum that you need is to have a kitchen and a washer dryer. For your kitchen, you wanna make sure that you have both a freezer and a fridge, not just a mini fridge. Freezers are important for storing ice, frozen food, frozen meat, frozen veggies, and if your guests are going to be staying long term, then they're definitely going to be storing these items. For your kitchen, you also want to make sure that it's fully stocked with pots and pans, with dishes, cups, utensils. For your kitchen appliances, you want to make sure that you have a microwave, a Keurig machine, a toaster, and an electric kettle. For your washer dryer, I recommend using an electric washer dryer combo unit. These things are pretty cool because they combine a washer and a dryer into a compact package, which is really nice when space is very valuable, especially if you don't have that much space to work with. Also, these things are cool because they don't require a gas hookup. You just need a water hookup and then you plug it in into any regular electric outlet. Another thing that is important to think about is providing a workspace because there are more and more people working from home now. So at a minimum, you should provide a desk, a comfortable chair, and fast and reliable Wi-Fi. Also, if you have the room, you should also consider providing a second desk so that it's possible for 2 people to work from home comfortably. We don't have space in our listing to put a second desk, but we do put on the listing that, hey, if you want us to replace the coffee table with like a working desk, then we're happy to do so and accommodate you. Those are the main things that you need from an amenity standpoint. You need a kitchen, a washer dryer, and a place to work. So let's now talk about the listing settings. Under house rules, you want to be as accommodating as possible, so you should allow for kids and allow for pets. People who book for a long time, sometimes they have kids, so you want to allow for kids as long as your place isn't inherently dangerous or something. You also should allow pets because people who book for a long time sometimes have pets too. And if they can't bring the pet, then obviously it will be a deal breaker for them. So we also charge a pet fee. So there's an added benefit for allowing for pets because we can make extra income by charging the pet fee as well. We also have a security deposit that we can draw from in case the pet damages something. Yes, there's a risk for allowing pets, but come on, there's a risk for everything that we do. There's a risk for just renting out an Airbnb as well. So you just have to kind of consider the risk versus reward. And we considered that. And we believe the reward is greater than the risk. We don't, however, allow for smoking in our house rules. In that case, I just think that the risk is not worth the reward. Just from personal experience with living with people who smoke, I think it's just too likely that the place would be damaged from just random cigarette burns. It can also hurt our ability to turn over the unit quickly if there's a strong smoke smell and we want to get rid of that smoke smell before the next guest arrives. So those are the house rules portions of your settings. The rest of your settings are about incentivizing the long-term stay and disincentivizing the short-term stay. Looking at your discounts is how you incentivize the long-term stay. There's a balance that you want to play with your discounts. If you offer too small of a discount, then you'll be potentially losing your bookings to your competition who offers a bigger discount. If you offer too big of a discount, then you open yourself to being exploited. You don't want to be putting yourself in these weird situations where it's cheaper to book, let's say like 4 nights compared to 7 nights, for example. Like, pretend that your listing costs $100 per night and you offer a 50% discount for booking for 1 week. So if someone wants to stay for 4 nights, then it would cost them $400, right? But then if they wanted to stay for 7 days, their 7-day discount would kick in and then it only cost $350. So if they're smart enough, then they would just book 7 days and just stay 4 nights. So you just lost $50 and potentially 3 booked nights. So for a weekly discount, I would recommend a 14% discount. This would make it slightly more expensive to book 7 nights compared to 6 nights. For a monthly discount, you basically have to give away some free nights in order to be competitive, meaning that you have to have a high enough discount that you kind of open yourself to being slightly exploited. So Airbnb gives you a recommendation about what percentage to use for your monthly discount. And in my area, Airbnb recommends a 33% discount, which in my opinion is just way too much. It's overkill. I use a 22% discount. This means that the difference between my weekly discount and my monthly discount is 8%. Like if you do the math, it's 22% minus 14% is 8%. So basically they're going to get an additional 8% if they book for 28 days or more. So if you do the math on that, then it'll be slightly cheaper to book 28 days compared to booking 26 days. So yeah, I'm opening myself up to slightly being exploited, but it's not a big deal at that point. And then finally, Airbnb gives you the option to offer a 12-week discount. Your 12-week discount should be higher than your monthly or your 4-week discount, but again, don't go overboard. I use a 28% discount, which is 6% higher than my monthly discount because, 28% is my 12-week discount. My monthly discount is 22%. 28 minus 22 is 6%. So basically, they're getting an additional 6% discount for booking 12 weeks compared to 4 weeks. When considering your 12-week discount, think about what your regular rental market is and then multiply that by 1.5, and that would give you your floor price. You don't want to be charging less than 1.5x the regular rental market rate because your place is just nicer than the regular rental market unit. So first off, your place is furnished, probably nicely furnished. You are providing all the utilities and internet, maybe even cable TV. And then the level of service is just much higher compared to the regular rental market. So hopefully if you give a 28% discount, then you're still getting higher than your 1.5x market rate, but 1.5x should be the minimum. So to summarize, weekly rate 14%, monthly rate 22%, and then 12 weeks is 28%. I'm not saying that this is the end all be all best settings, but this is a good starting point. The next setting I want to talk about is the cleaning fee. I kind of think about the cleaning fee as a tax on the short-term stay because the shorter that someone is staying at a place, then the larger their overall cost is going to go towards cleaning. Cleaning is also kind of similar to a shipping cost. Like if something costs $5 to ship, it's going to be much more annoying to pay for $5 to ship for an item that costs $5 versus $500. Kind of similar to a cleaning fee. If someone is staying for a long time, they're not really going to mind the cleaning fee that much. But if someone is staying for a short time, they're going to be much more price sensitive to a cleaning fee. So there's also a balance that you have to play with when it comes to a cleaning fee as well. If it's too low, you're not really discouraging the short-term stay, but if it's too high, then your guests might see this as too expensive and your reviews might suffer. I know some people that like to hire out their cleaning services. They just pass forward their entire cleaning expense to their guests. Like whatever they get charged from their cleaning service, they'll just pass that on 100%. I think that tends to overcharge for cleaning. Hotels, they don't charge guests for cleaning. They just embed their cleaning costs into their daily rate. So people are not really used to paying a high cleaning fee right now. I think a good rule of thumb is to charge $10 for every 100 square feet. So if your place is 500 square feet, then you would charge $50 per stay to clean. I think that's a good balance that discourages short-term stays, but it's not too crazy, not too overboard that guests will think it's too expensive. Now, finally, let's talk about your calendar. Effectively managing your calendar is probably the most important aspect of attracting a long-term guest, because if you don't have the availability for that long-term guest, you're just never going to appear in their search results. What I found that was happening was that when I opened up my calendar, I would get, once in a while, I would get someone who booked like 2 nights way into the future, and they would be essentially blocking all of my possibility of attracting a long-term guest that would overlap with those dates. So that's exactly what you don't want to happen. You don't want someone with a short-term stay booking way out to the future that will essentially block your calendar for anyone that wants to stay long-term, overlapping those dates. So to combat this, what you would do is you would periodically block off your calendar that anything that is maybe 2 to 6 months away. While you do this, your goal is to accumulate short-term stays and fill out your calendar for the immediate future. Then when you're happy with your calendar for the next 1 or 2 months, then you open up the rest of your calendar the 2 to 6 months out into the future, while at the same time you want to set your minimum stay requirements for longer than normal. So what do I mean by this? All right, so right now is March 7th. Let's say that you have an Airbnb and your furthest reservation in the future is checking out on April 30th. So what you would do is you would block off everything after April 30th, and for the next couple of weeks or so, you would focus on getting short to medium term stays to fill up the rest of your calendar from now until April 30th. After you're happy with your calendar, what you would do is you would unblock everything from April 30th forward for the next, let's say, 2 to 6 months or so. Let's say you open up May, June, July, August, September, and at the same time, you would increase your minimum stay requirement to be longer than average. So maybe like a 10-day minimum stay or something. This would allow for people searching for long-term stays to find your place while preventing people looking for short-term stays from seeing your place. Inevitably, after you do this, you're going to have gaps between your bookings. So what you would do after you're happy with the number of long-term stays, you would reduce your minimum stay to lower, let's say 4-night minimum stay, in order to fill in those gaps. So let's go back to the example. So first, what you did is you blocked off all your calendar from April 30th onward while you focus on getting short-term stays. After you got your short-term stays from now until April 30th, you open up the rest of your calendar and then you change your minimum stay to a 10-day minimum stay. And then a couple weeks later, let's say you get some long-term stays that are 10 days or longer. This will cause you to have gaps between your bookings. Now what you do is you would reduce your minimum stay to 4 nights so that you can fill in those gaps. So basically what you're doing is you're playing around with your calendar and adjusting your minimum night stay requirements in order to attract as many long-term guests as possible. This is basically what we did, and we got kind of lucky. By employing this technique, we ended up getting a 20-night stay followed by another 92-night stay afterwards. In between, we have one gap that is 9 days. So what I did was I adjusted my minimum night stay to 4 days in order to fill that gap with hopefully another 1 or 2 reservations. So I hope that was helpful. If you are looking to join Airbnb as a host, then consider using my referral code below. You'll get some money, I'll get some money. And if you need help getting set up and you use my referral code, then go ahead and just email me. I will walk you through the process. I'll put all that information in the description below. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.